So in today's video, we are going to be going through the FC25 Ultimate Team pitch notes that they've dropped for the web app, and there is so much to go through. Just talking about how I guess the new information is going to change stuff, and yeah, there's some really good information, and then there's also some not so good information. So I've got loads and loads of I say takes on stuff. I've got loads of I guess leaks. I've got stuff to show from previous years, and just talking about how different things on the market are going to affect different things. So to start off, we are just going to go. Don't worry, I'm not going to basically read you the whole thing. I've got notes about everything. The first thing that is relevant and you guys will be interested to know is that the companion and the web app is coming on the 19th. Now this is kind of really annoying because we wanted the web app on the 18th because normally you get the web app on the Wednesday with the team of the week. You can do a bit of trading. And actually it coming on the 19th is really rubbish. And the reason it's rubbish is because you can literally play the Ultimate Edition on the 19th if you use the New Zealand glitch. Now if you're not aware of what the New Zealand glitch is, it basically lets you go and play Ultimate Team when it is midnight on New Zealand. Well, midnight for New Zealand is literally 11 AM on the 19th. So if EA is not going to let you go and play Ultimate Team until let you play on the web app until the 19th, in my opinion, they are probably going to drop the web app after people are literally able to go and play the Ultimate Edition via using the New Zealand glitch. If you're not sure what the New Zealand glitch is, it's sadly something you can only do on Xbox. Obviously, if you live in New Zealand or Australia, you'll get the game early. But if you're on Xbox, what you can do is you can go to your device, you can then change the location to New Zealand, and you'll be able to go and log on to the game as of 11 AM on the 19th. So despite getting the Ultimate Edition saying the 20th, you can log on as early as the 19th. I should have a tutorial for that on my tutorial channel, probably come in the next 24 hours. So if you're not quite sure how to do it, again, I will have a tutorial for you guys. Should only be a few minutes long. And again, it can let you play the Ultimate Edition as of 11 AM on the 19th. Now, I can show you this was a thing last year because here is a graph. You can see as of 12, this is someone like Bon Matip. She would have been 300k, where you can see as of 12, she dropped. And that's because people logged on for the that's because people logged on Xbox using the New Zealand glitch. And again, you can also, if again you live in New Zealand on PlayStation, you can also go and do it. But it just means the web app's a bit null and void because the web app is so good because everyone's not got coins. Everyone is slowly making coins together. But if people load up, the game at the 11th, before you've even logged on the web app, these people could load up 12k FIFA points. They'll have, coins to go and buy. Advanced SBC players for really cheap. If there's really cheap gold meta cards for about 2k, they can go and buy them. And they basically have a massive advantage, which previously they wouldn't have had because, again, by the time people could log on to the game, you could at least do a bit of trading with silvers. You can maybe do a bit of trading. You can buy the advanced SBC players before the advanced SBC players are needed. Now, the thing that does work in your favour is they don't actually, people from Europe who do the New Zealand glitch actually don't get their FIFA points until midnight, UK time, which is why we see there's a massive crash here because even though, yes, people log on the game here and they can load up 12k, 100k, 200k FIFA points, they don't actually get the free 4.6k FIFA points, which is the vast majority of FIFA points opened at the beginning until midnight. But that's why I see a crash on midnight. What does it mean again for the web app? It means there are some good things for the web app. One of the good things is it means that people will actually be doing the advanced SBCs. So for example, last year this woman was really popular for the advanced SBCs. We can actually see that she went up when the Ultimate Edition came out. She probably would have been like 1 to 2k when the web app was out. Then when the Ultimate Edition came out, she went up. And that's because people weren't doing advanced SBCs until they had more coins. But of course, because people have more coins, because the Ultimate Edition is already out, these sort of players will probably be quite good to trade with. On top of that, other stuff that'd be quite good to trade with are players used for solutions. If you're not sure what solution trading is, basically what it is there's like high-rated non-rares, and because they're high-rated non-rares, they're quite rare. And if they get into like an advanced SBC solution a little bit like this, so obviously you can see people using like a full French team sort of thing here. Well, again, if people are building stuff like that and she makes it into the solution, what happens is she'll go up to about 1.5k and then crash back down to 600 coins. This is why cards like this average about 800 coins, 900 coins, compared to gold non-rares who average 400 coins, because what happens is they go up and down, up and down, up and down, so they'll average 800, but they might go up to 1.5, down to 600, up to 1.5, down to 600. And I say, I will have a massive list of these sort of players that should fluctuate like this, that you can keep on top of, and I'll write down what the buy price is and the sell price. So again, there is a free guide, do check it out, top link in the description. But yeah, so this stuff wouldn't previously work when the web app was out and the Ultimate Edition wasn't out, because no one was doing advanced SBCs. But because, again, the web app is literally likely to come out after the Ultimate Edition comes out, it means that you'll be able to do this sort of trading on the web app that you couldn't do previously. On top of that, it also means you'll be able to do shadow trading, because as soon as people are actually on the Ultimate Edition, they're playing the game. And as soon as people are playing the game, there's demand to go and buy gold cards with Shadow because they want to use them in their team. And obviously the amount of gold cards with Shadow at the beginning of the game is really, really low. So this is also quite nice, because normally obviously we have to wait about 24, 48 hours of trading on the companion app until people can go and log on to the Ultimate Edition. Well, you'll literally be able to do shadow trading from the get-go. Again, I might release another video, I guess, going over these sort of methods and how, you know, the changes, I guess, will make a difference to the methods. But this is, in my opinion, one of my favourite methods to do in FIFA. And again, it will literally work really nicely from the release. Sadly, there is something that we would have liked to do that we probably won't be able to do, and that is basically buying these gold meta cards. Sometimes what happens is these guys are about 1-2k, and then they'll rise up to about 5k just before the Ultimate Edition comes out. Yeah, I'm not too sure if you'll be able to get away with that, because again, people will literally be opening a lot of FIFA points, and the reason it normally works is because these cards are rare. Well, the cards won't really be so rare if people are, again, loading up FIFA points. So, I think that is literally, again, that is literally just the first line, that sadly the web app is dropping on the 19th. I kind of do think it makes the web app, at least the whole web app trading kind of process or thing, just kind of null and void. It's a bit rubbish, because again, you could go and sweat your ass off, play, you know, grinding trading for about an hour or two, maybe 3-4 hours. You go and make like 20, 30k like last year. All it took was someone to load up about 4 quid's worth of FIFA points on Ultimate Edition, and they could go and make the coins. Like, the coins are so hard to make on the web app at the beginning, and it's, you know, kind of takes the mick when someone can go and, you know, get that many coins just because they got the New Zealand edition. Again, if you are on PlayStation, you won't be able to log on until midnight, so, you know, the web app is probably going to be decent for you guys. Also, we will have marquee matchups the same day it comes out. I mean, there is something that could happen, and that's that EA sometimes soft launches the web app. And what they mean by soft launch is they say it comes out on the 20th, but it comes out on the 18th. And so they've done this quite a lot in the past. And the reason for this is that everyone's not logging onto the web app at the exact same time. And because not everyone's logging onto the web app at the exact same time, you know, it doesn't crash as much. The web app's quite renowned for crashing. The problem is there is a massive advantage for those that do load up the New Zealand edition. And the reason there's a massive advantage for those who load up the New Zealand glitch, is because what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to jump on the game, go and sell their top end players for way, way more than they are when they crash. So let's say again, they go and pack themselves a Bon Matip. Or you got another example, it was like in Cuckoo. And Cuckoo was around about 80k. And then when the full game came out, he was 50k. Now obviously, you know, you'll be able to log on to the game when the market crashes. So again, the market crashes and it's down there at midnight around about, you know, Bon Matip's around about 95k. But the problem is, for you to be able to get 95k from your packs that you've discarded and listed and so on within an hour is very difficult, because you only had, again, between midnight and 2 AM, she went from 95k to 160k. So, you know, if you, let's say, had 200k FIFA points, 300k FIFA points, you could very easily, again, if you loaded up the New Zealand version of the game, you could very, very easily go and open up your FIFA points in this, you know, this sort of time, go and get your 200k for Bon Matip, and then go and buy her literally for 100k at midnight. Whereas obviously, if you guys are only loading up the game at midnight and, you know, loading up your, you know, FIFA points or whatever, then you're going to have to open up 12 to 12 whatever 150k FIFA points and buy the players really fast. Likewise for the 4.6k FIFA points, you've got to be very, very fast with choosing what you discard, choosing what you list, and so on. And again, sadly, when you do go and list up your players, they are going to be worth less. Your investments for here, again, ideally it's going to be 40k and above, but anyone at midnight, you should be able to buy about 20k and above, and they should do very, very well. And again, they had an extremely, extremely high rise, and this kind of happened across the board for meta cards. I believe a lot of that is wrapped up regarding, yeah, I think a lot of that is wrapped up. There is an interesting bit of news, and that is that players who are rejoining from FIFA Ultimate Team 24 will get a little something extra with returning user rewards. Again, in previous years, this basically meant welcome backpacks. I wouldn't be too confident with FC25 giving welcome backpacks, because it's been very much in the nature of EA just giving untradeable packs. I think it'll be untradeable packs, personally. I think it'll be an untradeable pack, an untradeable kit, or an untradeable sort of Evo. kind of because you just learn, you set your expectations low and then you're happy. Because this seems like 101, the sort of thing that people think they're going to get 25k packs, they think they're going to get mixed packs, and then you get nothing, and then they're disappointed and they're angry from day one of FIFA. I with EA, a lot of the times I'll be pessimistic and then I'll be happy, rather than being overly optimistic and being disappointed. You kind of almost convince yourself that something's going to be there. But yeah, that's just a little bit of talking about returning packs, which is nice. We don't really care about all that. This is where this is quite interesting. In FC25, you'll find a range of content to help kickstart your early season, early access. So this is what comes out during basically the Ultimate Edition. Team of the Week 1. It's nice that they go and confirm Team of the Week 1 because, of course, we've done a lot of research on who should be in Team of the Week 1. The problem is, with them confirming Team of the Week 1, there's actually a lot of players who should get in Team of the Week 1 who will actually be really good for some of the starter Evos, which sucks. So, for example, Lookman got himself a goal and an assist in the Atlanta win, but he'd actually be really good for some of the starter Evos. Likewise with Adeyemi, fits some of the starter Evos, presuming they let you use a playstyle class, but Adeyemi got like 2 goals and an assist. Inaki Williams got himself a hat-trick of assists. He also is generally one of the best players for the starting Evos, but because the web app and because the Ultimate Edition comes out on a Thursday, it means no one's been there to pack their gold cards, which means these gold cards literally won't be in packs till next Wednesday. And presumably the Evos will still be out by then, but obviously you have to wait a whole week to be able to put the most optimal players into Evos, because half of them are getting a Team of the Week. Matthias de Ligt got a goal and a clean sheet. He's now he's one of the most favourites for one of the new Evos, which we'll just talk about now. Regarding the Evo yesterday as well, I talked a little bit about how Gabriel Jesus could have 88 dribbling. What they would do is they would transfer over, because his dribbling was so high, the Evo upgrade to his dribbling would be carried over to shooting. So instead of where an average person would get +2 dribbling and +3 shooting, because Gabriel Jesus' dribbling was so high, they'd actually just give +5 shooting. Buddy says that, what's it called? Yeah, EA is considering not allowing the carryover system. I'll be honest with you, it's really hard to believe that this isn't him misinterpreting, easy for me to say, and then using this to cover his back. But hey, maybe they've decided to change it, and maybe he knows. But again, I don't really buy it. I think he's just misinterpreted it and then gone for an easy blame EA. But I said, imagine if I failed an investment, I could just get out of it this easily. But hey, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, basically he's kind of second guessing his idea about, if there's not high enough, if there's a stat too high, then he'll go into the other upgrade. But enough about that. Now we're going to talk about the other Evo that's been leaked. Another Evo that's been leaked is a centre-back Evo. The weird thing about this is the only thing they talk about is pace, which kind of makes me think it's just a little bit like the Evo we got last year, where last year they had a pace increase of 15. Because it is only pace increase, by the looks of things, I think they'll substantially increase the pace. Obviously, the other Evo had a +1 weak foot and then +3 dribbling and +2 shooting. Whereas I'd say for this one, I imagine you're just going to get a minimum +5 to 10 pace. So let's have a little look at what these sort of options you could use for this one. How I decided what sort of players I thought would be good was basically just sort centre-backs via physical and defending. Because physical and defending are the 2 other stats you care about. And then if it's going to give a pace boost, well then, bring someone like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to use a 5'7" centre-back. But if she's got amazing physical and defending and the only thing she's lacking is pace, and we think there'll be a +10 pace, then, these are the sort of cards. So the cards I've got for you that will be decent for this Evo, someone like Mancini, very high defending, very high physical. He's only lacking the pace. Again, the pace seems to be that you basically get upgraded to 78 pace or maximum 78 pace. So I think it'd be quite nicely utilised on Mancini. Bissek, someone was like, I kind of missed Bissek, and then someone was like, he's 6'5". He'd only get a +3 pace, but probably wouldn't be too bad. Emre Can, interesting. So Emre Can has an alt position of centre back. The only problem is he would only receive a +1 pace up to 78. Emre Can is more of an optimistic take of maybe they'll go and give us playstyles, maybe they'll go and give us other upgrades, because again, if they upgrade multiple stats and give you more playstyles, and it not just being we'll give +5 to 10 pace, then Emre Can would be really good. But if it is literally just we'll give +5 to 10 pace, maxing out the pace at 78, then Can would be useless. Pavard I think is quite nice, starts off with a playstyle plus of this one, I don't know, block, it's not block, it's playstyles, it is jockey, there you go. Would end up with 78 pace, decent physical, defending, easy to link into teams. And then you've got teeny tiny centre-back Lissandro Martinez, who would receive a teeny tiny pace boost of 7. But yeah, as long as you didn't mind, one of the 7 dwarves in your defense, he wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, and that kind of wraps up the Evo. Now will EA move on to... Oh, actually, no, there is another thing. EA talk here about the Player of the Month SBCs. But I did, again, a bit more research into the Player of the Month SBCs. If I can find the tab, I believe it'll be here. Yep. And EA's already said that we're not going to get the Premier League POTM. EA's already said we're not going to get the Serie A POTM, which leaves us with the Liga, La Liga F, and the Bundesliga POTM, but voting hasn't started yet. And they said that we'll get these POTMs in the first, in the kind of basically the first week of Ultimate Team. So I imagine we'll start seeing voting for these guys coming out. And yeah, it's what we expect to go and get ourselves in the first week of Ultimate Team. So sadly, no Haaland. Sadly, no Thuram. Apparently, the La Liga favourite is Rafinha, which would be insane because he had a very expensive gold card at the beginning of last year, so he'd probably be a few 100k POTM. And then I'm not too sure who's his favourite from these, because obviously they would have been last month's, not the current months that we're in. Some people also think that we might not get like Liga and POTM because, of course, their season started a little bit later. And because it started a little bit later, there's only probably like 2-3 games. So not too sure what POTMs we're expecting, but EA do say right here that we can expect to see POTMs, during the early access. So happy days. They also then talk about us getting the World Tour and Squad Foundations, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So FC Season 1, Total Rush, blah. Basically, what they talk about in this is that there's going to be a season pass, and the season pass is going to be for Ultimate Team, it's going to be for Career Mode, and it's going to be for Pro Clubs. Now, the thing with this is they then, later down here, they say that if you play Career Modes and Pro Clubs, don't worry about having to grind out the whole thing, because we know that you guys don't play as many games. And then they kind of say that, well, if you play Ultimate Team, the higher level rewards. So the idea is that they'll probably give you Ultimate Team rewards for low levels, but again, for any reason, if you guys do play your Career Modes or Pro Clubs, apparently you'll probably unlock all them, I'd imagine, the first like 10 to 15 levels, and then 10 to 15 levels above will be only Ultimate Team, but Ultimate Team will probably also be in the first 10 to 15 levels. What do we have? I think that's... If we scroll up, I think there's a little bit more. I think in here they basically talk about there being a lot more promo cards in the... they talk about there being a lot more promo cards in the Season Pass, and they want to integrate that because they said it was really popular during Team of the Season and so on. What else do we have? The season rewards do seem to be nothing too insane. If we do go and scroll down here, the season rewards again, level 23, level 22 gives you 382, which if we go and compare it to last year, level 22 last year also went and got you a 2x82. So very, very similar to the rewards we went and got ourselves last year. Seeing what other notes I've got regarding that compared to last year. And then we scroll down here, and then they talk about on the 11th of October, we got the Total Rush campaign. Now, these so far are the Total Rush players, and yeah, they're not amazing. I mean, the actual league stats are there for them, and I mean, yeah, they're very run-of-the-mill. Now, the problem we do have is that EA said that we're going to go and get ourselves... so these are going to be the ones that are in like the Season Pass, but they also say we're going to go and get a Total Rush campaign on the 11th. Now, the 11th is a Friday. It's actually the 4th Friday since Ultimate Team comes out, so... more likely than not, the 4th promo of FIFA is going to be Total Rush, which, if these cards are anything to go by, bear in mind these are, official stats. I don't know, it just seems a bit underwhelming, really. I can't lie. I did also think that these would have been... I did think that you'd unlock these using MLS cards, but it seems that these guys are going to be in the Season Pass. And actually, what the season's all about this year is going to be Spain, La Liga, and La Liga F. So how EA is now doing the seasons is they're saying, well, everyone's running the exact same team. So what we're going to do is each season, we're going to go and pick a specific nation, and then we're going to release Evo's, SBC's objectives of that nation and their leagues. So the first one is going to be Spain, La Liga, and La Liga F. Now I think this is quite interesting because this is basically what they did through the whole of Team of Season. Remember, during like the Prem Team of Season, you get Prem Team of Season Evos. You'd have to go and play with Premier League players in the Weekend League. And EA do this all the time, where they guinea pig us for one FIFA, and then they fully release it the next FIFA. They've done it, I say, countless times, and they basically did it last year, where even after Team of the Season, we then had use a full French team. And I think you're going to see the same sort of things here. I mean, they say right here, in Season 1, you'll be able to take your Spanish squad into One Nation live friendlies. We basically had that during Team of Season and just after Team of Season. In addition, keep an eye out for weekly themed La Liga F and Spanish players. Throughout the season, you'll be able to add more Spanish La Liga, blah, 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 blah. Now, if this is executed well, this is really, really good, because we know that EA is going to release La Liga F, and Spanish SBCs. Which means if we can gamble on them being demanded, we can just go and buy really good link investments. For example, if in the first promo or the first team of the week, we go and get ourselves a Spanish La Liga or a Spanish La Liga F player and they're 10, 15k, we can gamble and go and buy a few of them saying, do you know what? EA's told us that we're going to go and get Spanish La Liga players for the whole season, by the way, which is 6 weeks. I'm going to go and buy that player because I know that we're going to get link investments. And especially on the lower end, that's not too bad. But on the higher end, it's a little bit risky. Because, for example, let's say I went and bought myself, let's say I bought Yamal. So I bought Yamal because I know people are going to build Spanish teams. And then they go and release a really good right-wing Spanish player. aka, let's say Adama Traore came out as like an SBC. Then what's going to happen is, even though I thought I'd buy Yamal as a link investment, he's actually been replaced. And we saw this all through Team of the Season, is you could go and buy like old Prem special cards, because you knew that people were building Prem teams during Team of the Season. But if we went and got a really good value for money Evo, or a really good value for money SBC, it'd go and kill the Prem card. So it's a little bit like fighting a fight. The player's going to go up and up and up and up, as long as people are building Spanish, La Liga F teams. But as soon as you go and get a promo card that's in the position of the player you've bought, they can kind of crash. So it can work. I mean, it's a lot more of a keep on top of leaks to make sure there isn't something leaked that's going to go and replace your player. And also it's a bit of a selling the hype. If you can get loads of hype, sell them, because you never know when they're going to go release a card that replaces them. Now I did a little bit of research into it. Well, actually, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the cards that are leaked, because I did say that, as long as EA execute this well, people will build Spanish La Liga and La Liga F teams. But the problem is, it doesn't really seem there's been much of an upgrade. So the players for this season pass are already leaked, which is weird because she literally had a card last time. But let me go and walk through, because this is a little bit Despacito-y. So this woman can play as a cam. Again, her stats aren't bad, but I don't know if anyone's forcing her into their team as a result. The next player is a striker. Again, does come with 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot, but yeah, I mean, that's a problem, If they're going to go and give us loads of La Liga F and Spanish content, but then the La Liga F and Spanish content isn't that desirable, link investments might be a bit of a flop. She isn't too bad. 4-star skills, 4-star weaver, can play on the left wing and can play as a striker. Yeah, the problem is, though, you compare that to a Golden Narky Williams. In fact, I will compare it to a Golden Narky Williams, because I'm pretty sure I've got a Narky Williams up here. There we go. You go and compare it to a Golden Narky Williams. Lower pace, 2 higher shooting. She's got 1 higher weak foot. She's got lower dribbling. She does have significantly higher passing. But then I'd also say the La Liga is probably more desired than the Liga F, although Spanish La Liga, that's the problem, is I'm not convinced people are going to be forcing her into the team when there's just gold cards as good. So that is the worry, that even though EA are trying to push, people building different sort of teams, and each season, each 6 weeks is going to have a different league and nation, I do worry that the players they're releasing just aren't good enough, therefore they're not going to go through with what they want. But what might be a little bit more hyped is the Evos. So I did a little bit of research on Spain, La Liga and La Liga F, and who I think could be quite well demanded for Evos, and I've basically gone for now that's what I call Evo players. So if you wanted to go and stack your club with these players, because the nice thing about actually these cards is we're talking these guys could be used for Evos, but these guys could also be used for objectives. If EA wants you to use a Spanish squad, a La Liga F squad, a La Liga men's squad, basically what I've done right here is I've got a big pool of players that should be these cheap meta players that do well with objectives, but they're also cheap, low-rated players that could for Evo. So there's some nice sort of double investments. The only problem we have is, because it's, this content is going to be spread across 6 weeks, we don't know when in that 6 weeks we're going to go and get the Spanish Evos, the La Liga Evos. So it might be a bit of a long hold, which is why I wouldn't go and buy 100 of them and sit them in chance list, but wouldn't hurt to go and buy 1 of each, maybe put a few on the watch list if you're not using them. But for the Spanish players, we've got Pedro Porro, we've got Olga Carmona. Also, it depends how late into those 6 weeks we get the Evo, depends on how good the players are. If it's the first week, I can't imagine he'll let you go and use decent players. If we go and get it 5-6 weeks in, you even might let you go and use players like Nico Williams. It's all a little bit subjective, really. Like Lorente, I don't think they'll let you use Lorente week 1, but if I'm not wrong, last year it was week 3 we got Lorente objective, so it wouldn't be too far out of the picture. Athena would be another sort of classic Evo or objective player. Yamal, again, won't be impacted for the first week, but should be another sort of player like that. Alex Balde, low rated, high pace. Ferran Torres, you know, this guy's Mr. SBC last year, getting in Mr. Evo last year, getting in every Evo. Salma Para, this woman, again, very low rated, but would be perfect for Evos and SBCs. And finally, Adama Traore, although receiving an SBC, but would still be quite well demanded in full Spanish squads. Then a little look at La Liga players. Again, subjective on how late it comes. Alvarez would be very hype in demand. Then we got Gallagher. Maybe if it's an early one, Gallagher could be quite nice. Again, these transferred players normally have a fair bit of hype. We then have the women's, and we got Ajabede. Again, low rated, but should be nicely demanded with 4-star skills, 4-star Weaver. And finally, we got FLAIR. Again, French in the La Liga, playing for Real Madrid. Not too bad of a combo. And I think, again, that wraps up the season pass. Depends how late it is. List of players would be good for Evos. Now we're going to move on to talking about FUT Champs. Now, a lot of people are very hyped about this, and yeah, I think there's fair reason to be hyped about. I've got a little bit of analysis on it. So EA just say that they've kind of done a bit of a recoup of how they've done each game mode. First off, they talk about FUT Champs. Don't worry, I'm not going to go over it this fast. They basically say we want FUT Champs to be more competitive. We say at the moment it's just too easy. It's not that competitive all the way through the process, so we want to be a little bit more competitive. So now it's gone. So previously you only had to win 4 out of 10 games. Now you got to win 3 out of 5 games, which is obviously making it significantly harder. But the nice thing they do say is they do go and give you more attempts. It's gone from 10 attempts every 6 weeks, which again would basically mean you could fail 1 every other week, but other than that you had to get them. Whereas this year it's gone up to 18. So basically you get 3 attempts a week, which actually led me and my chat to kind of talk about, well, bear in mind there's obviously FUT Champs rewards. Bear in mind there's always FUT Champs like qualification rewards, or like, the thing you get into finals. What would stop me now going and like getting 2 wins, then backing out the rest of the games and just farming that like 10 times? If I backed myself to be able to qualify for FUT Champs every time, what stops in the first week me going into FUT Champs qualification, getting 2 wins, might take about 20-30 minutes, then backing out? I guess the answer to that is how many FUT Champs qualification points you need to get into this, but I don't think they've talked too much about FUT Champs qualification points. So again, subjective on how you do this. In the first week, you actually might be able to go and farm this like 10 times, as long as you're happy to gamble that you'll be able to win each of the others, and get an insane amount of coins if they're going to give you 25k packs, 35k packs tradable. So it'll be interesting to do that. We were also joking that if you do go and do that, then worse players will get into the actual FUT Champs, and because you're literally degrading the ability of the FUT Champs pool because you're just letting random people get wins, it'll also make it easier to get the final rewards. Again, that's more of a joke. Obviously, the amount of people who do this would probably be very low. Also, again, it's subjective on how many qualification points you need, but they don't talk anything about qualification points, which is interesting. But you presume that you probably will need qualification points. But yeah, enough about that. They don't really talk about the rewards you get for the qualification. I don't think they say you don't get rewards, but then they also don't give examples of rewards, which they do in all of them. This is where it's a little bit more interesting in the finals. The purpose, the pinnacle high stakes, aka we want it being really sweaty. This year we basically want to go and give more rewards. Now the problem is, I think a lot of people have got very worried because they've seen the top rewards, and now they're expecting everyone to go and get this. This kind of happens every time. It happens when like you get new team of the season rewards, everyone sees the top ones and they go, the market's going to crash. But I've actually looked at all the rewards because all the rewards have been leaked here, and yeah, I'll be honest with you, throughout the whole reward set, they're actually pretty nice. From what I see, they've kind of just downranked the rewards. So last year's top rewards seems to kind of be this year's second rewards. So last year's top rewards was 125k, and if we look at this year's second rewards, it's 110k. We then move to the next bit, which again, you get yourself a 50k pack, 2 125k packs. That's this year being replaced with 2 10x84s, which I would definitely say is better. And then we also have got ourselves 2 tradable Team of the Week packs, and that is potentially comparable to these, 285s, 287s, and that's that. So I would definitely say, and I'll be honest with you, I would say that I prefer to go and have this than I would prefer to go and have that. I'd also say the untradeable rewards are brilliant. I mean, last year's untradeable rewards were 2 or 3 84 player picks. Whereas this year's untradeable rewards is an untradeable base icon, which is, an untradeable base hero. Sorry, I've loaded up the wrong one here. These are way lower. Rank 2. Untradeable base hero. I think I've loaded up the wrong ones here. Tradable 1. Base icon. Oh no. No. It's because I mistaken heroes for icons. Yeah, sorry. So you get an untradeable base hero. You also go and get an double 88 untradeable. You also go and get yourself a 25 times 8. Like the untradeable rewards here is insane. By getting more untradeable fodder, it basically just means that tradable fodder should be worth more, because when people have more untradeable fodder, increases the completion rate of SBCs, because people have to go and buy the finicky bits here and there. It doesn't necessarily mean I'd be charging to go and buy untradables, but yeah, very nice. I also do like the untradable heroes. I like the untradable icon if you go and get 15 out of 15, and it's nice that you go and get yourself an untradable hero all the way up to rank, what's that, rank 4, and rank 4 is coming in at 10 wins. 10 wins out of 15 is definitely going to be very difficult, especially with it being harder. But yeah, so the rewards are better. So what does it mean by that the rewards are better? The rewards are better significantly across the board. Now obviously it's subjective on how easy these rewards to get, because it's all well in saying that, okay, I could get 10 wins, I could get 10 wins when it was 20 games, that means I could probably get about 7-8 wins here. Well, because it's harder to qualify, in theory you're going to be playing harder opponents, so maybe if you only got half the wins, now you're only going to get a third of the wins, because the amount of low rate, or the amount of plebs you're going to play is lower. So I think, again, it's all going to be subjective on how easy it is to get the rewards, depending on what this does to the market. But I've done a little bit of analysing. Now, with these top rewards, again, pros are generally going to end up getting about 4 to 500k in comparison to maybe only getting about 200k in previous years. You know, here you're going to get 125, then you get 200, 250 if you're lucky. Whereas this year, because you're going to get 200k, then you're going to go and get that, then you're going to go and get that, then you're going to get 3 tradables. I would generally say you're probably looking at about 400k. So what does the top end players getting 400k? More and more top end players getting better stuff. It means that these top end cards are going to hold their value a lot better, if anything, maybe rise. So we see after about 2-3 weekend leagues that Vinicius Jr. then kind of seems to hold. He doesn't rise crazily. He just goes from about 900k to about 1 million in about 4 weeks, just under 4 weeks. So this is kind of what we expect to see. This is what we'd expect to see, maybe even a bit earlier, maybe even something like here. We'd expect to see them rebound. But what we should see is, because now all the top end players are getting more coins, he's not only going to go from 900 coins to a million. Now probably what happens is he goes from 900 coins to 1.2 million, maybe even 1.5 million. Because as long as people are keeping this card, and as long as he's not being replaced by any sort of meta, all the coins are going into these players. Because even though, yes, these top end pros are going to get themselves a tradable 10 times 85, a tradable 10 times 84, none of them are packing Vinicius Jr. You know, none of them are packing Vinicius Jr. in these tradable Team of the Week packs. And because they're not packing Vinicius Jr., but they're all getting these coins, what they're going to do is they're going to use these coins in Vinicius Jr. But now there's more demand than supply. So until Vinicius Jr. is significantly not demanded by these pros, he's just going to keep rising. Now, we saw in November that these cards drop. It's a bit weird because this is about 3 weeks before Black Friday, but maybe there was an SBC, maybe there was an maybe there was an SBC, maybe there was some promo packs, maybe there were some promo players that significantly decreased the demand. But that's basically what's going to happen, is these top cards are going to keep rising and rising and rising every week in League until the demand completely shifts and it decreases. Now, as a result, you'd say, well, you know, if I've got the coins, I'll go and buy someone like Vinicius Jr. Well, I'll be honest with you, I would prefer to go and buy icons. The reason I prefer to go and buy icons is because these guys not only held their price for longer last year, but I also think they had nicer rises. So, if we go and grab Vinicius Jr., we can see that Vinicius Jr.'s rise from the low to the high was 900k to 990k. It went up 100k. But if we go and grab someone like Capatia, we can see his low was 900k, and we can see his high was 1.2 million. So we can see he had a significantly higher rise, and he held his price for so much longer. He held his price basically until the 19th of December, whereas Vinicius Jr. held his price to the 4th of November. So if that means that last year, even with not so amazing Division Rival rewards, even with not so amazing Foot Champs rewards, these top end icons just every week were more and more demanded. They didn't really seem to drop in demand. I mean, the highest was 1.1, maybe down here to sub 1 million. This should be on crack next year, because we can see the demands there with, not that many coins. So the demand with a lot of coins should be way better. So yes, you could go and buy Vinicius Jr. and gamble that the pro's going to use him every week, but I would way prefer to gamble on stuff that was demanded last year. demanded last year more than this year. So I would say this comes down to basically top-end icons, and I'd say top-end out-of-pack promo cards. Because as long as these cards aren't being replaced, as long as there's not a top-end right back in a promo team or a top-end, I doubt you're going to get an SBC as good as Cafeteria in the first few months. These cards are just going to go up and up and up. And this should also carry through with the mid-range stuff. Again, I can go and show you Zanetti from last year. And Zanetti from last year, even at a 400k card, was holding his price unlike the gold cards. So we can do the same sort of thing even here with the mid-range stuff with Zanetti and Valverde. Now I would say it's definitely closer because you can see right here that he drops as of the 27th and so did Zanetti drop as of the 27th. And the reason these guys didn't hold till December is just because they're only 400k, there's an easier chance of them getting replaced. Replacing a 1 million coin card is a lot harder. But what I would say is I do like the security of Zanetti more than Valverde. You see how Zanetti is very, very, very straight. Whereas we go and look at the likes of Valverde, and we see he's kind of all over the shop. Now this can be good because of course you buy the dips, you sell the highs. But because it's very all over the shop, on top of that, if we look at his drop, he goes from 385 to 332. Whereas if we look at Zanetti when he started dropping, he just dropped from 335 to 400. Because these cards are less volatile, because they're supplied less, which means they're panic sold less, I would always way prefer to go and buy either out-of-pack cards that are, top-end cards, or prefer to go and buy icons that are top-end cards, because they're just, a lot more solid, and I think they're, just way better to go and buy than the lower cards. We will also now go and talk about, let's see what we've got. So, this me, Team of the Weeks, yes. So, there's a massive change with these packs because of the Team of the Weeks as well, because previously we weren't getting tradable Team of the Weeks, or we got tradable Team of the Weeks 2 years ago. We didn't get tradable Team of the Weeks last year. Well, the Team of the Weeks are now getting 3 tradable Team of the Weeks. This means that you probably want to look more so of the trend of what happened with Team of the Weeks 2 years ago than what happened last year. So what I've got is I've got Team of the Weeks from last year and I've got Team of the Weeks from 2 years ago. Now, Team of the Week from last year, we've got someone like Goretzka. What happened is he dropped to the Sunday, Monday. He then rebounded between the Sunday, Monday through to the Friday. Whereas if I go and look at Nico Barella, we can see he dropped there to the Saturday, and he actually had a really good rebound there to the Wednesday, and then rebounded again. So he dropped to the Saturday, rebounded to the Wednesday. I've also got another example, if I can go and find him. There you go, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes dropped there to the Sunday, and then kind of held to the Wednesday. But I'll be honest with you, the drop in rebounds on Team of the Weeks were pretty rubbish this year. But again, if we go and look at someone like last year, we've got Dembele, where again he is the cheapest here on Sunday, and rebounds there semi-nicely to Wednesday. I mean, it's nicer than Bruno Fernandes, but maybe still not too amazing. But yeah, so the trend, I'll be honest with you, didn't differ too much from us having tradable Team of the Week packs. They're not having tradable Team of the Week packs. But what I would want to do is I probably would want to wait to the Saturday, Sunday to buy, and then again go and try and offload them on the Wednesday. But again, I'll be honest with you, both years, Team of the Weeks weren't too amazing to flip. So just because we have tradable Team of the Week species doesn't mean the Team of the Weeks are great to flip. I'd also say the tradable Team of the Weeks will also null the Team of the Weeks rising for upgrade SBCs as much. It will potentially give us some investing opportunities very late down the FIFA line, but it also means it will take a lot longer for discard Team of the Weeks to go and rise. We're now going to talk a little bit about division rivals because not only have they changed FUT champs, but they've also changed division rivals. Division rivals, the rewards have now gone from having to get 7 wins to 15 wins, and the other one 3 wins to 5 wins. But the rewards have been significantly upgraded yet again. So the annoying thing is they only show us elite division, and there's no leaks of other divisions, whereas there's leaks of other FUT champs rewards, but hey ho. So we've only got the elite division to go off of. Now the elite division rewards are still very, very different to last year. So let's go through them. So last year's elite division rewards for getting yourself 7 wins, you would go and get yourself 2, obviously these are the untradeable rewards, but 2 untradeable, I mean that's an absolute abysmal reward. 2 rare gold player packs, another 2 rare gold player packs, rare player packs, that's a 2 50k packs untradeable, 2 100k packs untradeable, and then 1 special player pick. So again, I think that would have been like 84 rated or something like that. Well, this year is literally so much better. This year you get both tradable and untradeable, it's not a choice. You get 75k, which is insane. 2 tradable 85 player picks, which is very nice. Now obviously this is an untradeable pack we don't really care about, but it's nice. Tradable tradable 50 players pack, a tradable 35k pack, which will be interesting because that'll supply shadows and hunters, and then 2 untradeable Team of the Week player picks. I don't really care about that. That's not going to go and crash Team of the Weeks. people packing Team of the Weeks, because of course Team of the Week comes out Wednesday, rewards come out on Thursday. So this will go and drop the price of Team of the Weeks. This will go and drop the price of Team of the Weeks. This will go and drop the price of Team of the Weeks. But yeah, this won't go and drop the price of Team of the Weeks. So Team of the Week investing on Thursday when people get their rewards could be a lot nicer. It's been a bit null as of previous years because, of course, a lot of people pick untradables. But because now people are almost forced to get tradables, we're going to see a nice drop in Team of the Weeks on Thursday where you'll be able to buy them with the rewards and then they should rise through the day, which is a trend we've seen a lot. And again, we will be covering that because I do stream between 8 till 6:30 every day, so I'll be covering that sort of investment every single week. So do make sure to go and drop in. And again, that is just such a significant increase on last year. Well, what does it mean? Well, because we've got such a significant increase in coins compared to previous years, it just means something we didn't see last year, but we have actually seen in previous years, is that the more top-end cards are again going to rise. If elite players are getting this, elite players are probably walking away with another 150 to 200k this day. So this means that your plebs like Van der Ven, your Doogie aren't going to be rising. Maybe your Mendy's, your Valverde's, like I was saying a second ago, your Icons. So your more top-end cards are going to rise really nicely off this because the top pros again have really good coins. Again, yes, you have people who rank lower than elite getting less coins, but there'll be more plebs being packed than demanded. So stuff below 40k I couldn't really imagine rising, but stuff over 40k should rise nicely, especially anything out of packs. Anything out of packs or that has very low supply should have a nice rise. And yeah, it should be really good to go and trade with Division Rival Awards, which has been a bit null and void for a little bit. Let's see. They've also now move on to squad battles. Squad battles, they haven't really done too much apart from cut it from 32 games to 14 games. But they'll still let you play like unlimited games for Evos and that lot. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I guess they probably see that no one really plays squad battles, so what's the point of letting you play 32 a week? I guess also by only allowing you to play 14 a week, every squad battle game means more for the sake of rewards, but I can't say that offline gameplay has ever been something that I'm interested in. Now move on to live friendlies briefly. I couldn't really care less about any of that. The most interesting thing is, I think it's this bit here. It's important for the long-term have skill finding matches to reduce the potential for win form manipulating. Only full match losses will count towards the form calculated. So they say this about online live games. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be regarding FUT champs, but basically they're saying if you go and back out a game, the game won't actually see you losing a game, and then they'll literally put you against an opponent as equally as hard as the person you just played. So basically they're telling you, go and play out the games when you know you're going to lose them, because otherwise we'll just keep giving you hard opponents. But if you play out the games that you know you're going to lose, or that you're losing, then we'll go and give you, easier opponents next time. So this is good because it lowers the incentive to back out when you're drawing and your opponent knows they're going to lose. But I guess it's also bad because if you're absolutely thrashing your opponent, in theory now there's less incentive for them to back out. But I think we'd all take, thrashing someone and not backing out than, knowing when you play someone who's just worse than you and they back out at a draw, on a draw. So I think that's good right there. There's a little bit about evolutions. I might have to cover this in a later video because, of course, we are quite yapping on, and I actually didn't manage to get around to that. But as I will be streaming 10.5 hours today, so if you do want to go and join the stream, then we'll be going through all this. Interesting thing here, item view, average market price. So basically what they're doing right here is they're going to go and put the average price of a player. But this, I worry that this could be manipulated quite badly. It can be manipulated one of two ways. If the market has risen very fast, what will happen is, it might tell you that the average on Griezmann is 150, but if the market's banged, Griezmann might be 300k. And you'll have a lot of people just listing for what the average is. Therefore, you'll see loads of Griezmanns listed on the market for 150k, even if he's banged in price from 250k. You'll see this happen a lot when we get marquee matchups, and they'll say gold cards are 400 coins, but they might be 3k. You'll see this happen a lot for, again, if Evos, if someone's in an Evo and they're normally 1k and they're banged for an Evo and they're 6k, the card will probably tell you 1k. So it's all down to how much EA update it, and it also works on the vice versa. Let's say I've got some Capetillas and there's not many Capetillas on the market, and because there's not many on the market, he's so high, it says he averages 2 million. So someone goes to look to buy Capetilla, and because because there's not many on the market, and even though he only sells for about 1.2 million, the only ones on the market for the last few hours have been 2 million, and they go average and it says 2 million, and they go and buy for 2 million thinking, well, it's been the average, I'm not getting a bad deal. Even though, that average was only made, let's say again, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, there's no Capetillas listed. I always feel like people are going to fall for the trap, and then they'll go and blame EA for misbuying a card. So I would be a little bit worried that this could get manipulated a few ways, because I imagine the system is all automated. But it's quite interesting. I'm sure there'll be trading methods and investing methods off this, just like how there's always lazy buying and, you know, overpriced selling and so on. But yeah, so it's interesting. I say I'm sure it'll make some sort of difference for the trading market. I don't think it hinders it. I think if anything, there'll be some sort of ways of abusing it and exploiting it and so on. But that is going to go and wrap it up. Again, we'll go and cover more of this stuff on the stream today, and if I think there's anything relevant to throw into tomorrow's video, that will be that. And I think because they now go and tell us that the web app is coming on the 19th, I do plan on doing, I think it's like a 16-hour stream on the 19th. I'll be live from 8 in the morning all the way till 1 a.m. the next day, just because, like we said in previous videos, you know, 1 a.m. is when the market's super cheap, so I need to make sure I'm live for that, so I can give you guys recommendations on hopefully making that 95 to 180. But we're going to wrap that up. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Say tomorrow will probably be another long video. I'm sure there's so much information we'll get in the next 24 hours, but thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.